first of all, thank you again for taking the time to hang with us today. When Belief told us that you were going to be at the festival, we were super excited. And I'll just fangirl really quick. So I had actually, I came across a video of yours on TikTok. And like, you know how you just be doom scrolling and then something gets your attention? Like, it was one of those moments. It was like an Obama speech moment where you have to stop. And so I was like, yo, who is this dude? I had like never seen any of your stuff. And I remember just being like, I don't know who he is, but I love his sound. And I kind of had my crystal ball out. I was like, yeah, he gonna blow. And then the next thing I know, like, you were everywhere. And so I'm just super excited that like my
That
crystal
makes me
ball was
so
open
happy.
that day.
That makes me so happy.
Just looking at your background, you went from writing, you know, hits in the music industry to, you know, stepping on the scene as Pynk Beard, right? And that's a big leap. We don't often see artists get to come from, you know, writing these hits to actually being, you know, on the mic at the front of the stage. So, you know, how do you think your past experiences and what you wrote for others are mixing in with your new sound that we're seeing now?
Good question. I think the thing about being a songwriter is um, it's like being a consummate student, right? Like you're always learning how to write a song. Like
Mm.
I tell people every day, like I go to work and I'm nervous every single day because I have to do it again. And you want to learn from your mistakes and your successes. So yeah, I've learned just from watching the artists that I've worked with. A lot of them are successful. I learned from just like, what works for them. Why did that work? I spent a lot of time asking the question why. Why did that work?
Mm.
Was it the personality? Was it the melody? Was it the lyric? Was it the video? Was it the marketing? So being so close to the industry and then being able to like, watch my friends succeed. I think I learned a lot from just kind of patterning myself as them, and specifically in songwriting. I
Mm-hmm.
definitely have learned like give the song some space. Repeat that again. Just like little rules that you wouldn't think about if you hadn't done it.
Mm-hmm. So there's some structure to what you're doing too.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome.
Right.
Awesome. Well, yeah, we are absolutely loving it. Yeah. Go ahead, Sam. I'm sorry.
Dude, no, it's totally fine. No, so it's like I don't think that anyone would ever like accuse you of being really, really subtle with your influences. You kind of keep your heart on your sleeve in terms of your influences.
Yeah.
You're very like Alabama. Like
Yes.
One Slow Dance is very Alabama.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's like, how does growing up in Alabama, like how has that inspired your songwriting? How has that kind of informed even your musical process or even stuff like that? You know what I mean?
Man, Alabama. The weird thing is like when people from not the country or not the South talk about country things. Like up north, they call country people Bamas. It's like a title. Oh, he's a Bama, right? It's like a general term for anybody from the country. But when you think of like in music, you don't really think of Alabama for like music. Not that they're not any artists from Alabama. It's just you don't really think about Alabama as a musical place. But Alabama is so musical. Like there's music in everything we do, right? And home has been so good to me as far as like we don't get a whole lot of like big tours that come through Alabama and stuff like that. So we make a lot of our own music. I tell this story all the time. The first church I went to, growing up as a kid, we weren't even allowed to play songs that we didn't write. Right. So I grew up
Mm.
writing songs. Everybody in my church wrote songs. This was just like, I thought everybody did that. I thought, you just made up a song today. Like, that's what everybody does. And, Alabama's been very kind to me and like letting me come and try my new stuff. And, I've done projects at home and I've done, opened up for people who did come through. And so I wear that state on my sleeve and on my heart. Literally, I wear it on my chest. But I do that because no matter where I go in the world, like I'm always taking something from home.
Right.
Like, yeah, I'm always taking something from home. And Alabama taught me probably more than anything how to work a crowd because
Mm.
we're kind of spoiled when it comes to our musicians, right? Because that boy that plays the organ has been playing since he was 2, and we know he's great. You know what I'm saying? Like he's good. So if you want to move that crowd, you got to really give them something. You got to have energy. You know, you want to get them up dancing. You got to give it to them. So I appreciate Alabama for that.
Right, right. Oh my gosh, yeah.
I love it.
Go ahead, Mark.
You've been lifting musical weights since you were a kid.
Oh man, yes.
That's awesome. Let's talk about the genre a little bit. I've watched what's unfolded recently with country music, and specifically watching Black artists come to the front of the stage and really come to prominence. But there was also, I mean, to be quite frank, a lot of controversy around that. And country music has its own story, right? So the first question I have about the genre specifically is, how do you see your music helping to shake things up in the genre and bring a new perspective to it?
Okay. I'll start by giving some due respects. Shout out Darius Rucker. Shout out Charlie Pride. Shout out Ray Charles. Shout out Beyonce. I mean, I could go on and on and on. Shout out Nelly. Right.
Country grammar, yeah.
Yeah, and he did with the song with Tim McGraw, and he did a song with Florida Georgia Line. Like, he's been doing country songs a lot. Shout out UGK. I could go on and on about like the influences in country music, Black influences in country music, but specifically, a lot of people don't think about this, but it is so obvious, and it's one of the reasons that I'm able to do this right now. If you had to guess, and I know this is my interview, not yours, but just quick. If you had to guess the 2 biggest songs in all of music history, what do you think they would be? If you just had to guess.
Something by Michael Jackson, maybe.
Good guess, but wrong.
Chuck Berry.
Okay.
Maybe.
Good guess, but wrong. Okay. When I say the biggest songs, I mean they were number 1 on the Hot 100, the Billboard Hot 100, for the longest amount of time. I'll give you one more guess. One more guess.
You take it more. I can't take any more embarrassment.
Okay, all right. The 2 biggest songs, both these songs were number 1 on the Hot 100 for 19 weeks. No songs have ever been on number 1 on the Hot 100 for longer. Okay, they are "Old Town Road" by Lil Nas X and "A Bar Song" by Shaboozey. Those are the 2 biggest songs. Yes. The 2 biggest songs in recorded music history were Black boys singing country music.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
If it happens one time, okay, anything can happen once. If it happens twice, there's something there.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
There's something there. And once Shaboozey actually really inspired me to get into this. I started this project literally writing songs for him. Right. Like I was going to send him some songs, and I wrote them. And every time I sent it to him, somebody would say, "Yo, who's that singing?" And I go, "Oh, that's me." And they go, "Oh, you should keep that." And I thought they were saying the songs weren't good, but I was really initially trying to write some stuff for Shaboozey. And, but they kept telling me to keep them. So I was like, okay, I'll just do it myself. And so my perspective, one of the things that I wanted to do in this music was, the best part about country music is I think it's very honest, and it can be emotional, but it can be brash, and it can be fun and loud, but it can also be pensive and right. Country music just has such a big, wide array of emotions. You can be the biggest Billy Badass in the world and then cry the very next song or later that song. Doesn't matter, right? It's just about telling your story, and I'm very much that way. Again, my first album was supposed to be a country album. I ended up naming it Soup because they wouldn't let me name it country music. It was supposed to be country music, but I named my album Soup because that means Southern, S-O, urban, U, pop, P, right? And Southern pop music is just country music, right?
Yeah.
So the opportunity to walk into this space and bring my kind of songwriting to it is an honor and a privilege. And I try my best to carry that way, to give honor and respect to the people who've done this before me and who paved that way. And at the same time, bring a different perspective to the country music listener. I say some stuff in my songs that I know that people just don't say. And that's okay, because that's still country, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and
it's you. It's very much you.
So sorry,
Yes.
Mark.
No, I was just saying, he mentioned saying things that other people don't say, but I think that's what makes you you, that authenticity, knowing that they can come there and get a level of truth, right, and vulnerability that maybe they can't get elsewhere. So
yeah.
Okay, I'll shut up. Go ahead, Sam. Sorry.
How well, first, I guess this is kind of two parts, kind of. I wanted to ask, kind of, because I know that time is a little bit of a factor here. I want to make sure that we have time for everything. First of all, obviously, country really is a Black genre, and Black artists are that's kind of becoming more apparent. We're starting to have that more at the forefront. Firstly, where do you see yourself as far as that kind of whole expanse kind of goes with Black country artists? And then a kind of another question kind of tacked onto that, all the stuff with like this whole Beyonce CMA kind of situation, your thoughts on that and how that impacts the genre, if that makes sense.
As weird as this sounds, okay. As a songwriter, I have learned from every ethnicity of human being I've ever been around. This is going to sound like I'm not answering your question. I'm going to give you a very direct answer, but I have to tell you this little story first, okay? I was in San Diego. Well, I was in Temecula, in between San Diego and LA, out in the desert, and writing some songs for another friend of mine. And when we go out in the desert, we take shrooms. Don't tell them I said that, but we do. And so I'm high as the price of gas, right? And it's like 1 a.m. And my homegirl calls me from Charlotte. And so it's 4 a.m. in Charlotte. And she says, she called me Bash. She says, Bash, where do you think you go when you die? And I'm high, right? So I'm like, whoa, are you okay? She says, yeah, I just had a really bad dream. And I said, I studied theology in school, but this is just not the time, right? Like, I can't do this right now. So I said, well, baby, I just assumed you go back to where you were before you got here. Do you remember where that was? And she said, no. I said, well, I just always assume you go there. And she said, okay. And I was like, you sure you're okay? She said, yeah, I just had a bad dream. She hangs up the phone. She texts me a couple minutes later. She says, I was really afraid to die, but I appreciate you for giving me that peace. And I don't think I want to be here anymore. I just dropped my daughter off at my mom's house. I love you, and I'll see you next lifetime. And I broke. Right? And I'm trying to call up, of course, going straight to voicemail. I'm trying to find her mom on Facebook. I'm crying. My friend's I can't get words out. And in the middle of this, my high brain says, hey, there's this little song you sing when you're scared. You don't know the words. You can't write it down. But if you sing it right now, I bet they'll sing it with you. Shut up, high brain. I'm trying to do something. Right? So I'm trying to say it again. Hey, there's this little song you sing when you're scared. You don't know the words. You can't write it down. But if you sing it right now, I bet they'll sing it with you. Shut up, high brain. Keep going. Said it one more time. I was like, okay, I got it. So I took my phone. I recorded that. Hey, there's this little song you sing when you're scared. You don't know the words. You can't write it down. But if you sing it for them right now, they'll sing it with you. Okay, I got it. Don't say it anymore. I'm good. I ended up crying myself to sleep that night. Couldn't catch up with her. Couldn't find her. Next morning, she had texted me that she had taken some medication. They had given her suicidal ideations. She did drop her daughter off at her mom's house, but on the way home, she threw up. The paramedics came and got her, pumped her stomach. She's alive and well. Just so you won't worry, she's alive. Talked to her the other day. She's doing fine. And I go back and I listen to my phone. I look at my phone. I was like, what was I talking about? Like, what was I thinking about? And it hit me that this little song that we all sing when we're scared is called Crying, right? It's this little song we all sing. We don't know the words. I can't write them down for you, but if I sing it for you right now, you'll probably sing with me, right? There's another little song we sing when we're happy, right? You don't know the words, you can't write it down, but if I sing it for you right now, you'll probably sing it with me. It's called Laughing, right? And we laugh in a whole bunch of different ways. We cry in a whole bunch of different ways, but it's just one song. Genres aren't real. They're not real. Mm-hmm. Right? We're just singing these two songs, buddy. That's all. I can only write two songs. I either love you or I used to love you. Right? Like, it's only two songs. Right? So when I think about genre, I know that that's someone's attempt to classify, and classifications make things easy on the brain, right? So that I know the difference between an apple and an orange. But if I go far enough back, it's just a fruit. Like, it's just a different expression of the same citric acid. Okay, that to say, keeping Beyonce out of the CMAs was a choice. It keeping Shabuzi from winning one of them was a choice, and they got to live with that, right? But that has no bearing on the impact, right? They don't make trophies for impact, right? And that's how I look at it. If I never win a CMA in my life, God bless them, but I'm not doing it for a trophy. I'm not doing this for a trophy. I'm 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 singing this. There's a little kid that came to one of my shows, my first show, as a matter of fact, 4 years old. I'm not gonna cry today. I'm not gonna do it. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. This little boy, mm-mm. He came to my show. His mom brought him. Mom's a really good friend of mine. Brought his son, and he was sharp. He was sharp, all black. His jacket, had his hat on, looking good. And so when I saw him, I said, "Man, you look good." He said, "Oh, thank you." Came and gave me a hug. And after it was over, I sent him a little video. All the kids that was at my show, if I knew their parents, I sent them a personal video saying, "Thank you for coming to, dancing with me." We had such a good time. So she texted me back and said, "Oh, he's gonna be so happy you sent him this because he was so nervous about coming to your show." And I was like, "Well, why was he nervous about?" You know? He said, he asked me before we went if it was okay for him to go to a country show. And she said, I asked, well, why wouldn't it be okay? And she said, because there'll be white people there. And it might be a white girl there. Can I dance with her? And my heart broke.
Mm-hmm.
My heart broke. Because we just singing the songs, baby. All us sing these songs. We just laugh and cry. Your skin color does not change that song. It can't. Because that's the song for humans. That's just the song that people sing, baby. I'm sorry about that. That's just the song we sing. Nothing I can do about that song. I didn't write it. It's just the song we sing. You get what I'm saying? And you're going to sing it if you're black, if you're white, if you're from Tennessee, if you're from Timbuktu. You're going to sing them songs, right? And we got to get over that.
It's like songs are discovered, not necessarily written.
Absolutely. They are literally discovered. You don't make a song. You just catch it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The music is in the air. Even when I write, bro, a lot of people, they go in and sit in the studio, they listen to the song, listen to the music, and they start mumbling. I don't write like that. Once I hear the music, I leave the room. I go outside because the song is discovered out there. I walk around till the song hits me. Right? I don't take a notebook. I don't take a recorder. I just go out there and the song literally finds me. I come in and sing you what the sky said. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't write. I mean, I'll take the check because I can't write a check to the sky. But man, you know what I'm saying? Like the songs find you, man, and they sing to you. You're like, oh, okay, great. But we all sing the songs, man. Mm-hmm. And so I'm glad to be a part. I'm glad to be able to walk into this space and sing the song. Mm-hmm. Right. But I'm just singing the same song that the white lady gonna sing and the Chinese man gonna sing and the Indian trans person gonna sing. We all sing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for telling us both of those stories because, I felt your heart. I really did. And so, yeah, that's tough. And I'm so glad she's okay because as soon as you said that, my heart broke.
Yeah.
And so, you have this gift, right? And I call it a gift because obviously it's coming from somewhere. And I appreciate that you know that. I've watched people use this genre as a form of protest recently. I told somebody actually that I believe Beyonce actually made that album because of what happened after her performance with the Dixie Chicks at the CMAs. And I don't think she made it to win an award. I think she made it to make a point that she had jurisdiction in this space because it came from, people that looked like her. And I thought that was really cool. So I actually don't think that she was tore up at all about not getting
I hope she would, but yeah.
I mean, like you've done everything else. You mad about the CMAs. But when one of my favorite things is when people use their gifts as a form of protest, and you were sitting on the call with two people who use their gifts to write and, you know, to control language, right, to speak on behalf of people who may not have a platform and a voice. And so, you know, what are your thoughts on that, on, you know, using your music to save lives in essence, right, and break down those barriers that you were just, you know, talking about really shouldn't exist and don't in real life?
You know, I'm glad you said just yesterday, I was in the studio, and I wrote this song called Hemi Hendrix, right? And it really is a protest song. Like, it's an outward protest song. First words of the song are literally, "Fuck this job, I quit." Right? First words of the song. Right? The first words of the second verse are, "Fuck the government." Like, that's like Dems and Republicans. Fuck them. Right? Music has always been, for me, like, I grew up in a very strict household. My dad was like super, like, you know, children should be seen, not heard, you know, one of them kind. But he couldn't stop me from singing what I wanted to sing, right? So I had a little keyboard, I would just write, and I would say whatever I wanted to say. And I don't care if it was wishing death on him, I could sing it. I just wouldn't sing it to him, right? I could write whatever I wanted to write. And so music is protest. But one of the things that I'm doing in this particular space on purpose is, I think, probably one of the biggest acts of rebellion for oppressed people is to show my 32 teeth. That's one of the biggest acts of rebellion I can do, right? You ever heard the story of the middle finger? You heard the story about it? Okay.
No, I'm so excited.
French-English War, when the French and the British, the French were actually very good bowmen when they fought. Like, they had very good archers, right? And so when the British would catch them, a lot of times they would chop off their pointer fingers. That's their bow finger, right? But the French, being resilient, learned to shoot with their middle fingers. And when they would hit them, they'd hit them with this, right? You can't stop me, right? A smile is just as big of a fuck you as a middle finger when you want to stop me. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's one and the same in my book. And so I go out of my way to show all the teeth in my face, because fuck them. That's why. Because fuck them. That's why. That's why I smile. And I try to bring that smile everywhere I go, because in a place where they don't want black women I got this song, Mine Lord Willing, and I overdo the fact that this black woman going to church, she going to work, she going to twerk, she got a baby daddy, and you gonna love her anyway. Take it, leave it, right? But I didn't say it in like a preachy way. You get what I'm saying? But it's quite the protest. It's my fuck you to the red pills, right? You get it, but I don't want to preach it. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to do a podcast about it. You get what I'm saying? But this is all protest. Like, the whole thing is a protest. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, Black Joy is it in its very essence, right? Is a fuck you. So that's beautiful.
It's a fuck you.
Beautiful.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And you know, the Rooted in Rhythm show is coming up. How are you feeling? What can the crowd expect? What can you tell us about it?
I am so, first off, you know how you said you was doom scrolling and you found me? One day I'm doom scrolling and I hear this song, and this pretty lady is sitting on her porch, and she says, I went down to the river to cleanse my soul. I was like, oh, what is this? You know, I loved it, right? And then I found out she was performing there, and I flipped. I was like, oh, I get to meet Elsie. So first and foremost, I'm excited to meet Elsie. I'm really excited about that. We've actually like become internet friends, and you know, we've chatted a couple times, but I get to meet her face up, so I'm excited about that. But what I think the thing you can expect, my single comes out the day before, right? This is my first single release as Pynk Beard. So this is like my first time performing as a like a published artist in that regard. And so I'm bringing all that energy and all that joy and all 32 of my teeth. I'll bring it all 32.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna show all 32 of them the whole time. And I hope that smile is infectious, and I hope it's gonna be energy. We're gonna dance and we're gonna sing the songs. That's what we're gonna do. Yeah.
All right, all right.
I love it.
We're so excited. We're really, really pumped up for it. Mar, do you want to take the last one? I think we got time for one more.
Yeah, sure. I will tell you that Texas has been practicing with their boots on the ground. They got their fans ready. I've never seen anything like it. What's going on right now with this line dancing is spiritual. I promise you that. So Texas is ready for that. I can't wait to see you perform. So you mentioned Elsie. Who else are you listening to right now? Like, who do you think has next? Who got next?
I mean, 803 Fresh really does have next. I want to tell y'all. Oh, and Tiara Kennedy, she's definitely crazy with her.
Well, we are so grateful that you took some time out of your evening to talk with us, and we look forward to meeting you next month. We'll be there front and center. I'm going to make sure I fangirl out a little bit after you perform, though, because I'm not that person that roll up on people before they hit the stage. I think it's special.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to it. We're going to have a great time. We're going to have a great time.
Yeah. You got anything else, Sam?
I think that's it. I think that we're good. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Very, very excited. You know, we're just really into it. And thank you so much, and just congratulations on all your success.
Man, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you guys so very much. And well, I'll see you soon.
For sure. Yeah, we'll see you soon.
All right, buddy.